Right. Bienvenidos a todos. Trying to launch this thing today, and I've got my nice computer's RAM maxed out almost with the amount of stuff that I got open. And I am trying to put in a modular thing to deal with the race conditions with this promise that I just put in here and detect which environment we're in and pick a Genesis block so you don't waste time starting up from like all the hundreds of thousands of blocks before trade layer deploys on those environments. That maybe a little slow. All right, let's see if it works this time. Not WSL to build the Linux wallet. Where is it? I got everything open. I'm trying to get this thing working, and it works. Okay, mashallah. I'm trying to package this change in the npm that I'm publishing, bundled together. I could put it in the sh scripts to clone it, and I did do that, but I thought it was easier to just put it in the npm. Compile it in the Windows version of the desktop wallet, compile it in the Linux version of the desktop wallet, and am I missing anything? Well, then I got to work on deploying the web, right? But I was going to do an initial trade in this environment. Okay, so I guess that works. Da, da, da. Shut this thing off. Thank you. Move the folders over. It's just like at this point, like launching the dude, like just keeping everything in my head. Like my brain is like my computer. It is RAM maximized. Um, I am using 90 odd percent of RAM, like my machine is. And okay, so copy this thing over, run the Windows script, give it a little test drive, get the Litecoin D for Linux in dist folder, or is that core? I got the error in core in the server side. Okay, and then I can in WSL package the Linux LFS, which probably stands for something profane, or maybe it's large file storage on GitHub. Somehow it didn't work for my Linux app image because it was like just over 100 megabytes. It only worked for the Windows. So I use another solution for that. Upload them, then I'm going to announce it, um, and then I'm going to move on to developing the web wallet. And for this little video session, I don't have that much time anyway. I got to go pick up my family. My family. That's not crypto, man. What are you dealing with human beings? You like have a family? It's crazy, man. Get your priorities straight. You should be clicking on coins, son. Well, 10 years ago, sure, but now I am almost 40 years old and I have to juggle all these things. And that is the destiny that God has appointed for me. All right. Done. Everything is open. Okay, I don't need this. I can close Visual Studio. I already got Sublime open. Not editing any CSS just now. Getting ready to redeem all my shareholders. Beautiful. I think that lets me restore session. It's been years in the making. We almost didn't make it, people. I have to update the date on that as I've been delayed. That's trade delayer for you. And it's not as bad as drift, where you're perennially cursed to have slow execution latencies by relying on not the block time, but the coordination global network latency of Solana. Um, but I think rather the trades can be delayed on their confirmation and not in their execution, rather the opposite, that we'll keep finding ways to toiten it up. Okay, I got a little RAM free now. I can do this. So many things, man. Honestly, it feels crazy to actually be shipping, but it also feels heroic. I feel like a real man. I could have walked away from this project 2 years ago after FTX scuttled my hedge fund and we just moved into this house. I could have said, I'm gonna just find a job. Maybe I'll join another project. There'll give me some tokens. Maybe those tokens would even be worth more than what I'm doing this ICO for. Honestly, and or if I wasn't afraid of the REBA, the interest rate that's baked into the perps, and I traded on Hyperliquid, I would probably have like a low seven figure Hyperliquid hype position right now. But the point of life is not to make the most money in the shortest amount of time so that you can have the most, coitus or whatever you want, or addiction consumption, or nice meals, or flying around, whatever the things you want to do in the world. That's not the point of life. The point of life is to become spiritually refined so that the resources that you do gain control over become an instrument in your purified spiritual state to do the maximum amount of good for other people. That's why we're here. And my trepidatious path in this project has surely prepared me for this. To be perhaps a wealthy person, or maybe just a little rich, or even just upper middle class, self sufficient, but who cares, who isn't insulated, and who isn't deluded with worldly entertainment. And this probably would be going faster. Wait, is it copying everything in my project folder? No. It's just taking a while to get that last thing, but it's token order book. Let's go. Token order book. Nobody's going to use it though. I mean, even like it's mostly like the AMM feature, which I haven't tested yet, and that's mostly there to catch, well, for the contracts to catch liquidations. So it's mostly, and so it's probably going to like quote wide. No, you got to do it. So this is one downside. There's also the upside is that everything's really, you're going to want to do it through the trade channel system. And if that liquidity is not robust, it's going to feel a little janky, especially in times of crisis like what we've seen in the markets recently. Okay, so we got that there. Um, and to deal with that, the on-chain AMM, or with the insurance fund for one contract for the TL LTC contract, or TB, BTC, TD, Doge. That is something. and that's dealing unleveraged with its own supply. So it's a reasonable approach to an AMM. However, to create that AMM like experience with a dynamic order book system, it's going to have to come later in the roadmap. I'm going to have to make a co-location black box or gray box, let's call it, so it's audited, it's not a black box. Wrapped in a near contract with the address binded to that smart contract in the protocol. So this is something I'm planning for like it's like TX number 35. I think it's like the last one. ZK batch proof is like 34, but I don't know which one I'll get to. Probably I'll get to the bind smart contract first. So the idea is that you have the WASM hash of that contract that you would run on near um, embedded in the blockchain as a hard reference, so you can checksum what is executing, and the protocol could even detect that if there were something going, somebody deployed a different contract or whatever. And then it's sort of like an admin address where if you're going to upgrade that contract on near and you're going to, redeploy it on near, it's going to be a different hash, it's different code. And then you update your binding with the new hash. And then I don't know exactly what the protocol is going to do with that information, um, other than just have it as a sort of checksum um, for the contract being consistent. Because obviously, if somebody's deploying from a given near address, they might not have admin controls in the contract, which is, in my opinion, the better way to design DApps, but they can redeploy the contract, right? So you got to know at the trade layer level what you're dealing with. And then you can do all sorts of things. You can bridge things. You can do UTXO AMMs if you can do the bridging. So the way ultimately I'm going to do the bridging is with Merkleization instead of wholesale porting the global state of like Litecoin, for example, and then trade layer in a trade layer near contract implementation. That's like the top down way to do it. The bottom up way to do it is to build Merkle hybrid, sort of like tap protocol is all ordinal out UTXO colored coin type stuff. Trade layer is an accounts based system like Ethereum, but I'm going to hybridize it and then making that work with a bilateral graph-based clearing algo, similar to what we built years ago that we applied for a patent on, but we're not actually going to use that particular algorithm. But I am going to build off of that research, um, and inshallah. And what ultimately I'm going to have to do is make that settlement algo trigger every time you take profit. So the transfer, even if it's belated in the protocol logic, and this can somehow be mapped into the near contract that's going to handle bridge redemption, for example, has to know when you got credited the realized P&L for that hybrid token and that there's an output involved in that specific trade atomically to make a Merkle branch on that. So, it gets to pick which output to route the Merkle branch, and then ultimately that's a proof that you can make. Okay, great. So uploading that, and then I need to get. I don't have anything naughty in my history because I am a good religious man. See, this is where the religion thing, in addition to the discipline of building this, I would have perhaps a very embarrassing history as I casually, oh, what are they? Nope, none of that, man. Okay, so, um, like guess we can do that, right? This means that if you if you have an ARM chip on your Linux machine, I'm gonna have to get into the weeds. So anybody who has a problem, just ask me and I'll I'll package it up for you. Not dealing with that today. All right. Okay. Yeah, that's um right to the Oh, we got Breath of Fire 2 ROM there. Nice. That is not helpful. Um, I guess it's just the tar, right? I've got an idea. I'll move it manually. Okay. Let's copy over to the NPM. Oh, righto. Let me go to docs. I'm using the same domain, subdomain hosting for the URI, even if the thing is release me, release me. Where'd you put the furniture? You might as well. Round and round and round and round and round. For URI purposes, they'll have to that. And then what's up with my app image? It's gonna take a little time. Okay. Very good, very good. All right, when I start getting mainnet, I want to trade with the UI on my desktop on mainnet. It's not obviously I'm going to be doing things with the server through a trading bot. It's got better continuity, auto reconnect and replace orders if there's an outage with the server. They are separate servers for both security and URI ease. Um, so having to do this port dance. I don't want Litecoin test now. I want Litecoin. We're going mainnet. It's time for mainnet. Mainnet. Um, this could be a whole new life thing. And yeah, it's localhost only, so having basically no encryption, no entropy in the credential is presumably safe. Otherwise, I'm gonna have to someone's gonna get me, or it'll come up in audit. Uh-oh. What are you talking about? Yeah, but you're not. Okay, well, that's not fun. Um, okay, let's kill the Litecoin D and a little embarrassing, but basically this is my life. Oh, okay. Well, all this deployment may be for nothing if it doesn't start on mainnet, but it starts on testnet just fine. So what I'm gonna do? No, no, it's the wrong folder. I think. No, it's this one. Right. Okay, I'm gonna take a little break here, and then I'm going to off camera start seeing if I can just run mainnet on the CLI locally in Windows. Um, this may be building Linux. That might be giving me, but that's not because this is working, so that's not the issue. Um, this is taking its sweet time, and Yeah, connect connect to mainnet. Maybe that's kind of the last step. All right, cool. So this is how close I am to launch, and there's always some monkey wrench. So see you later on the live ICO soon, God willing.